CMPRadio.net. It's the station. CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
CMPRadio.net. You already know it's your boy Uncle P, and we're here to talk. Let's talk to the candidates. Let's talk to the people that are going to be servicing our community, the public servants that allow themselves to come up here and have a conversation with Uncle P. Listen, if you're out there and you want to ask some questions, just put it in the box, man. Just type it up. Who are you? What are you trying to do? Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Shep Garner. He is running for the Magisterial District Judge, courtroom, I don't know.
32-1-22.
There you go.
10th and 11th wards of the city of Chester, as well as Marcus Hook and Trainer.
Absolutely. See, I don't know all that stuff. I'm going to just say that's Judge Seaton's court.
That's right.
And shout out to Judge Seaton, man. A man of many talents, man. A brother that served this community, I want to say, for the last at least 35 years, probably more than that, right?
Yeah, he's been around a
long time.
Yeah.
I remember when he was on Family Feud. You remember that?
No.
You remember that?
No.
Oh, man, Judge Seaton was on Family Feud. Yeah, I get him. I'll give you 50. But, yeah.
I just remember him coming to how we built the relationship is him coming to practices.
Okay.
Of course, I played for Chester High, 86 through 88.
Okay.
And he would be one of our mentors, somebody that came and helped, somebody that came and taught us good life lessons.
Yes. Got to give life lessons.
That's right.
So, Shep, how you feeling today, brother?
I feel good. I feel good. I'm out on the campaign trail, knocking on doors. You see, I'm dressed down today because as soon as I leave here, I'm headed back out to knock on a few doors and make sure that I try to reach each and every voter in this district.
Right. That's important, man, that you get out and talk to everyone and let everybody know who you are, man. Mm-hmm. It's not like a lot of people don't know who you are. Mm-hmm. But who is Shep Garner?
So I'll start by saying I'm just a regular guy from the city of Chester. I grew up on 5th and Parker, right across from the William Penn Projects. Some people say that, William Penn Projects adopted me because I spent most of my time there. Most of my friends live there. So I was born and raised in the city of Chester. The whole time I was educated in Chester Upland School District from kindergarten to my senior year. However, my senior year, I transferred to another school. Went on to Alvernia College, which is now Alvernia University. In Reading, Pennsylvania, graduated with 2 majors, one in accounting and one in business management. Stayed there probably 6 months after I graduated and got homesick. So I came home with a family. My son was born. I had 3 kids and a wife. My son was born in Reading, conceived in Reading, and we decided to move back down to Chester. Once I moved down to Chester, I started working at Delcora, which I've been there for the last 25 years. Wow. Yeah, a long time. Then went on to do a few other things, like I served on city council from 2008 to 2011 with Mayor Butler, Butler's team. I've worked served in the community with different capacities as being on the board at Chester Biddy, and I'll talk about that a little later because that's one of the things that's most important to me. I serve on the board at Chest Penn Clinic, where we help people who are in different financial classes and can't afford medical attention. Well, you can come over to Chest Penn and we'll make sure that they serve you. As well as I'm on the board as Community Transit, which is another 501c3 nonprofit organization who provides transportation to different venues like the medical center. If you have problems getting to your elderly, you have problems getting to a hospital, well, you can call Community Transit and we'll get you there and make sure that you get back and forth safe at a reasonable price.
Why are you running for magisterial district judge? Because I'm thinking I'm city council.
Yeah.
Right? Why switch?
Well, that's a very good question, and there's so many layers to why I want to run and why I want to be the next magisterial district judge. And I'll start with I think the easiest one that's pretty obvious. It's because it's been something that I've always wanted to do. Even before city council, this is what I wanted to do. And the reason I wanted to do it is because I can remember being in front of the court. It may have been something minor, right, but I remember that feeling of being nervous and uncertain because your life is in someone else's hands.
Yes, it
so
is.
You don't know how this thing may work out, and especially if you don't know that person that's sitting, on the bench, who's gonna dictate what happens to you going forward.
Absolutely.
So when I see our young men in this community, and women, because women have, some of our young women have issues as well. I want to make sure that they have someone that they know, someone that they trust, someone that they've seen before, other than being in court. And I think that's why Chester Biddy and organizations like that are so important. Chester High, because it gives our kids an opportunity to see something different, to see people that are doing different things, and it gives them the parents and the coaches an opportunity to pour into the children. I can remember, I'll tell you a little story. I can remember being in high school, and everybody thought including me, everybody thought they were going to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I got a rude awakening, and I realized that I wasn't going to the NBA. So right out of high school, so I had to go to college. So I really didn't know what I wanted to major in.
Right.
Didn't know what to study. But the one thing that I did know, that there was a young man that poured into me. When I say poured into me, talked to me, got me prepared for college, got me whatever we needed things. He was always there. I'll give you, his name is Earl Pearsall. So you may not know him, but
I know Earl Pearsall.
Yeah. So
he poured into me too. Right,
yes.
right.
So Earl Pearsall was a person that I respected, and I looked at as a mentor, and I seen how he took care of his family. I seen how, he took care of people. So I asked what he was, and he said, "What do you do for a living?" He said, I was an accountant. So I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to be like him.
Right.
So I'm going to school to be an accountant.
Wow.
Didn't know anything about accounting.
Right.
But it's little things like that that can help young men and women turn the corner.
Absolutely.
But you just got to be willing to pour into them.
That's it.
And I think seeing me on that bench, I think gives opportunity for children to look towards and maybe one day want to become a judge. Because we need, our magisterial district judges have to be from our community.
Yes, they do.
They have to know who we are, who our children are, where the bad spots in the city are, where the good spots are. So you get an opportunity to evaluate, certain situations, because every case that comes before you is going to be different.
Yes, it is.
So you're going to have to evaluate. You have to follow the law, but there's going to be opportunity for you to evaluate each case and rule on it the right way. And so I think that person needs to be from here, and I think that person needs to know our kids. And it's my hope that I don't see those kids in court. It's my hope to see them before they get to me, Chester Biddy. So I'm hoping that I can pour into them and help them so that they don't even have to come in front of me. I want you to meet me, and I want you to talk to me, and I want you to, get to know who I am, but not in the court, not before you come to court. I want to deal with you, before you even get there, before you even get into trouble, so that, we can redirect you to do something different. To be our next magisterial district judge, to be our next accountant, to be our next lawyer,
Be our next anything positive, right?
Anything. That's right. That's right.
That's one of the reasons why I started the radio station, right? Was because I wanted to be something different for my son.
Right.
And I was talking to you a little bit before the show started.
Right.
About the things that I went through,
right,
and the trials and tribulations that I had. So it was important that I started something and put a lot of energy into it. So whenever my heart stops, whenever I'm no longer here, he can look back and say, you know what, my dad was about more than what I remember, or he was about well more than what I saw.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's important, man. And it's about other children too, because I don't just cut my grass in front of my house. I cut the neighbor's grass on both sides, because I don't know what's in your grass. You know what I mean? But as you were speaking, I was like, damn, I see. Oh man, I'm lost for words right now. I see that the other judges don't really come out that often, except for one, and that's the female judge. What's her name, real quick?
Miss Potts, Desiree Potts.
No. The judge.
Van?
Yeah, Judge Van. Judge Van. I'm sorry, right? I had that stroke last year, so it'd be in and out of my head if I'm. But Judge Dawn Van, right? I see her out at events, right? I don't really see the other judge, Davis, out too much. So are you saying you're still going to be involved with Biddy as a judge?
I'm never leaving Chester Biddy. I'm never leaving Chester Biddy.
Right.
I'm going to continue to work with, not only, as a matter of fact, I'm on the board now.
Right.
I think I might coach. I was telling my wife, if she allows me, I'm going to coach a team next year. So.
Absolutely. You coach CMP team. Whatever team you coach it, I'm going to be the sponsor of that team.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to go, because my wife said I have to coach her team. She sponsors a team, Kim's Cream team.
Come on,
a couple years and she's so excited. I'll tell you one thing about her. She is more competitive than anyone I know.
Right.
So when she gets into something, she's all in. So
but she was here. I saw that.
She sponsored the team, and she's taking them water and Gatorade and that kind of stuff, buying them shoes and all of that. And so she said, "Well, if you coach, and you got to coach Kim's Cream team." Damn. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to happen.
But you're not leaving Chester Biddy.
No,
and
never.
I think that's critical. That's important, right?
Yeah.
Because most people will say you're a magisterial district judge, right? You're putting yourself in the line of fire, going out into the community. But if you're saying, why am I in the line of fire just for sitting on this bench? And I know that's what you'll say, but if you say that, right, and you reach out to the community, then maybe the community can change a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing. I've been in the line of fire
so many times.
I served on city council, so
right.
I mean, I'm comfortable there.
Okay.
I'm comfortable there. And even if I'm not comfortable, even if it's, I feel like the situations going out in front of people are uncomfortable, I'm okay with that because there were individuals who came before me that helped me, and I'm sure it wasn't a perfect situation for them. I feel like this community has raised me. And to a certain extent, I think I owe this community because you had individuals like Randy Leggett, Earl Pearsall, Monster Springfield, Mr. Jimmy Springfield, Freezer. Those people were had their own lives, had their own families, but they decided that I was important enough to pour into, and I have a duty, I think, and an obligation to do the same thing for the individuals that come behind me. So that's the reason why my kids haven't played in Chester Biddies for probably 15, 20 years.
Wow.
And I'm still, here working with Chester Biddy, and it's not because we're getting paid for it, because none of us, including the coaches, we don't get paid for this. We do it because we are passionate about our young people, and to an extent where we want to help the coaches too, because not only do I conversate with some of the kids, I conversate with some of the men, because those are the guys that are mentoring our kids.
Yes.
Are coaching our kids. So
yes.
We want to make sure that they're on the same page.
Right.
And, we haven't, it's not a perfect situation over at Chester Biddy right now, but we're moving in that direction. We're happy that, where things are going with Chester Biddy. So
absolutely.
We're looking forward to next season.
I'm like, if I was to ever hit the lottery, I would definitely buy Chester Biddy its own basketball facility. I'm talking about 12 courts.
Yeah.
I'm talking about be able to rent that space out. I'm talking about a full-fledged kitchen to feed the kids, right? Because I saw what y'all do.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like y'all do the most with a very limited space.
Least. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's amazing that's what we have to do. But the fact that I see you in there giving back, and shout out to Mike Bryce and June, right? They won the championship. All the coaches, Naeem Pierce, you feel me? Like everybody that's a coach over there at Biddy, they give back to the children and they're helping the children. And I always tell them, man, whatever you need from me, I don't want to impose myself and put myself in a situation, but if you need me, I'll be there, no problem.
Yeah.
But you're running for magisterial district judge, and how was that when you told your wife that's what you wanted to do, right?
Well, she's always known that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
Like I said, I was interested even before council. But I'll tell you another story. I never really wanted to. I said to myself, I said to my wife, I'm never going to run against Seaton because this is my friend.
Right.
But when, he's done, because he's a few years older than me, like I said, he was a mentor. Right. He's a few years older than me. So I said, but when he's done, then I'm going to prepare. So I've been preparing for this for the last probably 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
6 or 7 years, really preparing. And the reason I've been preparing, because it's a really important role. You can't just wake up and say, hey,
I'm be judge.
I want to be the next judge. That's crazy, because it's so many layers and so many things that you have to be accountable and responsible for, that you need to prepare. So what I did is I went, found out what I needed to do. Once I heard that Seaton was retiring, I think in 2020 maybe. So I decided to find out, okay, what's expected of me? You got to go to class. I went to class.
Okay.
You had to take a test.
You took the test?
No, I took the test and passed the test. So I know that, I'm pretty sure that none of my opponents have done that. So when you talk about separating, myself from the rest of the pack, I feel like that, one, I've been around the young people and people that I think that may have to come in before me, so I know them.
Right.
I've lived in this community all my life. I know the places. I've served in so many different capacities, so I know what service is. And I passed the test. Passed the test. So I feel like, like I said, you heard it on the commercial. I check all the boxes.
Right.
I check all the boxes, so I think I'm ready to be the next magisterial district judge.
Awesome. How would you describe your management skills? Being a magisterial district judge, you're going to have people underneath of you, right?
Yeah.
Court clerks, and different things like that. Like, how would you describe your management skills
So
or style?
So when I think of management, I think of leading. And when you lead, somebody has to agree to follow. Okay. But the only way that they follow you is because that they trust you.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm going to be a judge that listens, gets feedback from the staff, gets feedback from the people, because that's really what it's about. You're managing, a court. And in order to manage that court, you got to know some of the things that are wrong. And that may be simple things, but I think if you listen to people, they buy in. They buy in. What I mean behind that is when I say they buy in, they listen and they trust you, that they trust to follow you. So I think if you're able to, get people to trust you and believe in you, I think they'll follow you. I think you can lead, and I think that's what makes a good manager.
Awesome. Based on what you know about city government, what do you see as a top priority for the city and why?
Top priority for the city?
Top priority for the bench, top priority for where you're trying to see yourself, right? But, otherwise, what do you see as a top priority for the magisterial district judge? Because I just want you to talk about that, right?
Okay.
Right.
Top priority. I think with talking to people, when I'm going door to door, some of the issues is that we have in the court system is they feel like they're waiting. They're waiting too long to, be seen and be heard, have their case heard. So we have to figure out ways to make sure that that process of you getting in and out of court goes efficiently and effectively. So I'm looking to bring different things. Like I think we should have a night court. A night court, I know they've done it in other areas, so I'm interested in seeing how we can have night court, where people don't have to take off from work, or people can, don't have to find babysitters, or you don't have to pull kids out of school.
Right.
You can come, court starts when everyone gets off of work, reasonable time, whatever the evening is. So that's one of the things, and I also like to bring back something when I was on council. They had, and I can't remember the name of it, but I believe it was something like a youth aid panel when, kids are involved in, small things. It doesn't have to come before court. It comes before a body of peers or a body of community members. I haven't really mapped that all the way out because, again, the idea is you got to win first before you can figure out how to make things better.
Absolutely.
So some kind of youth aid panel to help our young people who are, maybe first time in the court with a small issue.
Yeah.
I think if we can come up with some kind of way to effectively address that does two things. It keeps those young people out of the system.
Right.
In addition to that, it makes the court proceedings go a little
bit quicker. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have served your community for how long exactly?
So I've been serving my community, it seems like forever, but I'll say my entire young adulthood. I think I started serving with Youth Interlock. I was the president, but I started as just a regular volunteer when I was about 20, I'll say 24, 25, so well over 25 years.
Wow.
And I don't want people to think, that the only thing that I care about is basketball. Even though Youth Interlock was a program that dealt with not only sports, but they also dealt with mentoring, getting kids prepared for college. I can remember taking kids on, tours, college tours. I can remember taking them up to Wall Street, to get, and talk to different individuals to see how the stock exchange works. So we've done a number of things, but I only know what I know. And my wheelhouse is basketball.
So leave it there.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason why basketball, I know people say, oh, it's basketball. But basketball saves lives in Chester.
It does.
In Chester. And anyone who's played for Chester High, anyone who's played in Chester Biddy will tell you, Chester High may have saved my life because it gave me an opportunity to be involved in something rather than being in the streets. There's times when, I could go anywhere as a kid.
Right.
When different groups, Wimpin Project are always fighting, they always fought different areas. But I was able to go anywhere I wanted to because they knew that I was part of the team, the basketball team. So I think it also teaches life skills. It teaches you how to be able to work with groups. It teaches you how to, understand that everyone has a role. It teaches you that everyone has to, be accountable. Whether you're on, you're a starter or you're on the bench, you have a responsibility and a role to the team. And everyone's pulling in the right direction. So I could go on for days talking about how important team sports, not just basketball, like I said, that's my wheelhouse, but team sports in general teaches you all of those things that, help you in life. And it produced, you can look at some of the people that, we talk about the pros, but we have, people that have come out of Chester Biddy that are doctors. We have people that come out of Chester Biddy now that are coaches. So it's just a wide variety of different things that, the kids from Chester Biddy and Chester High have done and accomplished.
Absolutely. What do you think distinguishes you from the other candidates?
Well, like I said, I've already passed the test.
Right.
That's the one of the biggest ones. In addition to that, I'm in the community. I know that, other, people will say that, they've done certain things. And I'm sure they have. And I'm sure there was good things. But I feel like I'm on the front line because I get to interact with young people every day during the winter. I'm interacting with girls and boys from either Chester High, Chester Biddy, and different other organizations. I'm working with community. I work with the community almost practically every day now. Granted, we have a little downtime now, but it's picking back up. Chester Biddy will have a summer league that we'll all have to get involved in. And work with our young people, and just to continue to have our hands on them, so that again we can redirect them and make sure that, they don't have to come. Hopefully, they don't have to come in front of the court.
Do you have any personal or professional relationships that could become a conflict with you sitting on the bench?
No, not as long as my wife never comes in front of me. Because that's the only person that I'm going against the grain for.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I don't have any personal or professional.
What skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a magisterial district judge?
I feel like I'm one of those people that does a lot of listening and evaluating. I don't really like to talk. I'm not, and I'm going off track. I'm not a social media person that's always on, doing something on social media. In fact, it's not something that I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with, doing a whole lot of talking. But what I love to do is listen and get to know people and engage with them to find out, what is behind what you see. I think serving the community for over 25 years. I think living here my entire life and knowing the people. I think those are all traits, that I think will be good for, sitting on the bench.
Why should voters cast their ballot for you?
Why should voters, listen, if you want someone that's going to be accountable, you're going to be able to, interact with and see on a daily basis. You're going to be able to, talk to. Then I think you should look at me, someone that has already passed the test, someone that has, already did the work to be your next magisterial district judge. I think I check all the boxes, and again, I think, I'm praying that you see that I'm the best candidate for the job. So I'm hoping everybody comes out on May 16th and proves that, they agree with what I'm saying. They agree that it takes a village to raise our children, and I just want to be part of that village.
To be a part of that village, what do you feel is the role of the men? What is a man supposed to do in this village?
Well, let me say this. I feel like the men should lead. I don't want. I know, some people may not like that answer, but I think that's one of our biggest problems is the men have to stand up and lead our community and be involved in our community. That mentorship thing is real.
It is.
That that thing is real. Right. You need people that make sure that they're touching our young men and women.
Pause.
And, I'm sorry. They're reaching and trying to get involved with our young men and women.
Right.
I just use myself as an example. I know the importance of, people and being involved in my life.
Absolutely.
And I had, and this is coming from someone that had a mom and pop, in the household.
And you still needed
I still needed that.
That's a mentor.
That's
right.
the point.
Because mom and pop are busy,
Yeah.
right? And mom and pop can't answer every question.
Yeah.
And to have someone who is reaching out and showing you life and giving you energy and trying to get you to understand why he does what he does is key.
Yeah.
It's
Listen,
key.
I had, even with my son, I always use personal
Right.
things as
That's all you
example.
can use.
Right. Even with my son, I know that there are sometimes there are things that a child may not want to tell their parents.
No.
So I gave him access and to confide in any of my friends. And he knows who my true friends are.
Right.
Anything that he may feel uncomfortable with me
Knowing.
talking to me,
Right,
knowing,
right.
yeah.
Talk
I
to
said,
them.
listen, talk to them,
Please.
because I trust each and every one of my friends, and I know that they're going to give them the right information.
Right.
And they haven't told me,
Anything.
what the circumstances are, because they're good friends, but they told me that they handled it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't tell me what,
Right.
but they said, yeah, your boy came to me,
Right.
and
We had a
he had
conversation.
some problems, and we had to talk, but I think we talked it out. Yeah. Didn't ask him, didn't ask them, and guess what? My friends' kids do the same.
Do the same thing.
same
That's what friends are supposed to do.
right. That's
If
right.
I can't trust you to guide my son,
Yeah.
I can't trust you around me at
That's
all.
right. That's right.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
If I have to go and ask, somebody that I don't know to talk to my son, and I'm talking to my friends every
Yeah.
day, and I can't have my son call you up when he got an issue that he can't bring to me.
Right.
And we have an open relationship, me and my son, bro. We can talk about anything.
Yeah.
I talk about anything to him.
Yeah.
So you got to come to me with the same situation. But if you don't, you can go talk to him,
Yeah.
and him.
Yeah.
And him over there too.
Yeah.
You feel me? But if we don't have that in our community and our kids don't know that they can go and talk to somebody safe, they end up telling their ideas to their friends.
Yeah.
And their friends don't have any life experience to relate
don't know.
to the issues. They're going through the same thing you're going through.
Right.
So they're going to tell you, yeah, man, just go ahead and do it.
Right.
That's how my life ended up where my life ended up, because I didn't have anybody around me that was elder or went through life experiences. Everything was on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You try to explain to them that, hey, listen, I made the mistakes that I made in my life for you. So you didn't have to go through them.
Look at this.
So I could tell you
Right.
exactly where to go left and where to go right.
Yes.
And they still may not get it right, but at least they don't have to go down the road that I went down, because they have the information.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Come on, man. Well, I'm going to tell you, I wish you the best of luck. I can't vote for you because I don't live. Explain that people can only vote for you if they live in the 10th and 11th wards.
Yes. So in the city of Chester, let me go back a little bit. Yep. So Judge Seaton, of course, had Court 32-1-22, and every 10 years there's a census. Mm-hmm. And once the census happens, they gather up all the information, and then they do a redistricting to make sure that the population stays the same. The same types of population, because people migrate every 10 years.
Right.
They go here, go there, and they want to make sure that the demographics and things like that stay the same in each district.
Right.
So they call it redistricting. So this census happened, redistricting happened, and so they said, hey, listen, now we have to move Seaton's district, which used to be wards 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now we're moving it to where Court 32-1-22 has the 10th and 11th wards, in addition to Trainer and Marcus Hook.
Wow.
The 10th ward begins at if you're west side of Rainey. So if you're on Rainey Street and you're on the west side of Rainey, all of that is considered the 10th ward. So that makes you part of the district.
Right.
So if you live in that district, of course you can always come out and check the box for me, because I checked all the boxes for you.
Right. And you passed the test.
And I passed the test.
Was the test
That's
hard?
part of checking the boxes.
Was the test hard?
Very difficult test.
Very difficult test?
Very difficult test. It is probably like 100, maybe 110, 115, 20 questions that are multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank. But then you have 4 essays that you have to write.
Wow.
And you have to do that in a limited amount of time, 4 hours. So, and it touches on the 4 major aspects of being a judge. Preliminary hearings you got to talk about. You got to talk about landlord-tenant. You got to talk about search and seizure evidence kind of thing. So it's a very difficult test. Right. You got to really come with your lunch pail to pass it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came and you stopped through here, Shep. I really appreciate you, man. I'm gonna wish you, the best of luck, on May 16th. Anytime you want to come back before then, we're open for it.
All right. I plan on coming back.
Yeah. CMPRadio.net, you already know it's your boy, Uncle P, man. I want to thank Mr. Shep Garner for stopping through here, having a conversation with us. Man, make sure, listen, tomorrow is Monday, and tomorrow I think I got another guest. I think I have Miss Marilyn Lee stopping through. She's more of a write-in candidate. You got to write her in. And then Desiree Potts is coming through on Tuesday. Also, the mayor, Thaddeus Kirkland, is stopping through the radio station. Had a conversation with him yesterday. We were out giving out food with Covanta, with Gooder, right? Yeah, I know, right? But they gave out 250 free bags of food to the community. Great food, great fruit, great everything, right? If you missed it, they'll do it again real soon, man. It's CMPRadio.net. It's your boy, Uncle P. I want everybody to remember to give grace to everybody. Be happy today. Give good energy, man. I love you. Peace.